Hello, welcome to Record Time. Record Time is a weekly Akashic experience where we explore simple and mysterious themes through the lens of the Akashic Records. My name is Mina, and I'm happy to be here with you. Welcome to friends old and new. If you're brand new and don't know what the Akashic Records are, I invite you to check out my website, minaruchi.com. And there I have some videos explaining all about what the records are, what an Akashic record reading is. You can even watch me give readings to people there so you can see what it's really like. Okay, but before we do any of that, for right now, just take this moment to settle into where you are right now. And if you're multitasking, please devote your attention to whatever else it is you're doing. But if it's safe and accessible, you can bring your awareness to where you are right now. If it feels good, you can close your eyes. Just take this moment to rest into your body. If you're holding yourself with tension, can you drop a little bit? Like literally let your weight drop down. Notice how your breath is right now. And see if it would feel good to deepen your breath. Maybe it would even feel nice to sigh. And as I tune into the records, continue to just settle in to where you are right now. So the records are sharing. In difficult moments, take your whole self with you. In difficult moments, take your whole self with you. And this is such a relaxed, permissive invitation. There's a sense of relief and spaciousness behind these words. The energy with which they're offering this to us is so relaxed and so spacious. And it's just this like sense of relief and dropping everything that you feel like you should be doing, dropping all of the ways in which you feel like you should be handling something or approaching something or coping with something. It's almost like letting all of the pressure and expectations we put on ourselves, letting them just melt off of you. In difficult moments, take your whole self with you. So what does that mean? What could that look like? There's a lot of ways that you can relate to this. I think this sentence is really like, it feels multifaceted to me. I invite you to contemplate it and see how it lands for you and what it evokes for you. But one facet of this sentiment that's coming up is, especially if you're working towards something, whether that's on your personal journey, in your inner world, are you working on something, right, in this like personal development sense? But also if you're trying to build something or create something, if you're working on a project or a business or a creative endeavor of some sort, in difficult moments, take your whole self with you. What that means, it's like, and I feel like this sentence really speaks for itself, so I'll speak to it as much as what comes through, but I really invite you to just hold this and play with it and, yeah, taste it for yourself, see how it feels to you personally. Because I do think you'll get a lot more out of it than whatever I'm about to say about this sentence. I think if you just sit with it, it might unfold itself for you. But yeah, in difficult moments within a creative process, whether that's an external creative endeavor or an internal creative endeavor like personal work, in the moments where it feels challenging and where you feel like you're doing it wrong, or where you feel like it's not working, or you feel like it's just so challenging, like it feels difficult, right? So all of these feelings are so, they're just so inherent in any kind of creative process, right? Personal work for sure, but creative work too. It's like there inevitably comes a time where you feel like this is going badly. This is wrong. This is a mess. What has happened? How did we even get here? How am I going to recover from this? How do I keep going? All of those things, when you're just really in the mess of life, when you're in the mess of a creative process, take your whole self with you. And what that means is when you are face to face with a messy moment in your creative process, give yourself permission to drop how you think you should be in the face of that messiness. Because there's almost like two tiers of shoulds here, right? When your creative process or inner work or whatever it is, I'm going to just use the phrase creative process, and you can apply that to whether that's an external creative process or an internal personal growth kind of creative process. So when you're face to face with the mess of a creative process, you're in the thick of it, it's a difficult moment. There's this one type of should that's like, this shouldn't be this way, or I shouldn't have let it become this way. I shouldn't have let it get this messy. I shouldn't have even started this. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing this alone, or I shouldn't be doing this with this person. There's so many shoulds just when looking at, facing this mess of like, it shouldn't be this way. And I shouldn't have XYZ. I shouldn't have let it become this way. So there's that should. And then that's just like as you meet the mess. And then as you begin to kind of wade through the mess, if you decide to keep going, and sometimes we don't have a choice, or it feels like we don't have a choice, and we just feel we must persist. We have to get through this mess. And inside that, like leaning into it and wading through this messy kind of muddy water kind of place, there's also a should of like, this is how I should be handling this, right? It's like sitting up straight and like putting on your facade of perfection and moving through something with poise and grace and spiritual perfection, right? It's like, okay, there is a mess and I'm actually feeling like this shouldn't be this way, or I'm feeling some kind of way about this. And then as you move through it, there's this sense of, well, a mess is here and I should be coping with the mess this way. This is the right way to cope with something messy. I should be grateful. I shouldn't be angry. I should be collected and calm and clear. And I should move through it in this specific way without letting it get to me, because I am this person. I am a conscious, evolved person. So there's this sense of like, almost like zipping up your facade and like moving through with like a full mask or a full like external sheath or layer on top of you that isn't really your most sincere, real response to whatever is happening. And so when the records offer us, in difficult moments, take your whole self with you, what that means is when you're moving through something and you're taking a lot of shoulds with you, like, I should be, this shouldn't be bothering me. I should be able to do this clearly. I shouldn't be upset. I should be calm and focused. Everything that you feel should not be there, everything you feel should be there, almost reverse those. If you feel like you're pushing hard because you should be one way, and you're suppressing hard because you shouldn't be another way, can you almost tip the scales in the other direction and tell yourself, I don't have to be a certain way. I don't have to approach this a certain way. I don't have to be calm and clear and super collected. And the things that you're saying you should not do, I should not be angry, I should not be upset, I should not be stressed out, can you give those a little bit more space to breathe? Instead of pushing it down, and almost like trying to stuff everything into a suitcase that's too small and then zipping it up, right? And then the outside of the suitcase is like calm, collected, perfect, right? It's perfectly contained. So instead of like putting all of your energy into zipping up that mask or zipping up that suitcase where all of the chaos and mess is perfectly contained inside, can you give it a little bit more room and not let it be perfectly contained? Can you take your whole self with you and give your full self room to breathe? Can you meet the reality of how you feel right now? That actually, I feel like I should not be angry, but actually I am angry. I feel like I should be calm and collected, but actually I'm not calm and collected. I feel like this shouldn't be happening, and I'm upset. Whatever that might look like, you know? And this is like an invitation to just really, at its core, it's just to be honest with yourself and how you feel about something. And to drop into that relief and permission to take your whole self with you. Like, oh, I don't have to actually suppress this part of me or try to get rid of this part of me, and I don't have to try to conjure up this other part of me that's actually not really there, this calmness or clarity or whatever that I wish was there, that's not actually there, that I'm kind of forcing to be there, and it's a facade. I'm allowed to drop that, and I'm allowed to just take my whole self with me as I am right now. I hope that that made sense. And if it didn't make sense, but it feels compelling, sit with this phrase. In difficult moments, take your whole self with you. And really just let it simmer in the back of your mind and see, what does it bring to you? What does it unfold for you? Where in your life Does that feel like an invitation, if at all? And if it doesn't, that's fine too. All right, that's where I'm going to leave you for today. If you feel called to share where in your life this feels applicable or relevant, I would love to hear from you. What are the pieces that you feel should be there, and what are the pieces that you feel should not be there? And what are the qualities when I say take your whole self with you? What do you feel like you have permission to bring forward now? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. So feel free to either comment on this or send me a message through my website, which is minaruchi.com. I'm wishing you well until next time, my friend. Namaste.